So, why are men hesitant to get vasectomies if they have no desire to have children?
Because they don't want nobody messing with their little tenders. Number one reason. Don't want nobody messing with their little tenders.
I'm just gonna shake my head until y'all finish. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead, and I'm just gonna
I,
shake my
I
head
just
for a
feel
minute
like
till y'all
this, right?
finish.
I have one child that I know of. I might have more, but they haven't made themselves present yet, and I'll leave that where it's at. But I don't even know if I want any more kids. To tell you the truth, this world is so crazy to me.
Mm.
Um, I just don't know if I want to bring in a child into this current environment. But as far as me getting snipped, hell no. Leave my shit alone.
I told you. Worried
Leave it
about
right
somebody
where it's
messing with your
at.
little tenders.
It's not broken. Um, if I were to have another child, accidentally, of course, never on purpose, um, then I'll do what I have to do to take care of that child. But I'm not going to participate in cutting my own goddamn system off.
Let
Nope.
me ask you this before we get to Soul Toucher, because his head is really going. He gonna shake it off his
All right,
shoulders, I
go ahead.
think.
Go ahead.
If you decide
Uh,
I don't want any more children, would you be like,
Hmm.
okay, baby, I don't want no more kids, so I need you to get fixed?
Hell no.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
Because my
Because
thing about it is this.
most men want the women to get fixed. They don't want the snip snip, but they want the woman to get the snip snip. Most men that I talk to, that's most men feel like birth control falls solely on the woman's shoulder. And I don't agree with that. I
Mm-mm.
uh, I really honestly think the reason most men don't get a vasectomy is because, for one, I think they just be like it's my manhood. It's who I am. And two, I don't want nobody jiggling my balls. It's just like just don't want nobody jiggling my balls. I've heard women say having a hysterectomy makes them feel like less of a woman. I think the same holds true for men. I think having a vasectomy makes most men feel like less than a man. But I'm not a
I,
man.
I, I wouldn't want my wife to go through something like that simply because when you go to having these surgeries and shit like that, um, that opening up your body,
Mhm.
having that, that cut or whatever you want to call it, it kind of like, one, you're going underneath the knife, right? You're going through the whole surgery thing, and from what they say is very quick and it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but you're kind of going through surgery and you don't have to. There are other means of making sure you don't have another child. So I wouldn't want my wife to, have to go through that situation. And again, nothing against anyone who does, but you know,
mm.
if her shit ain't broke, just leave it alone. Leave it the fuck alone.
God.
And with that, I'm gonna say I got one kid, not near abortion on my record, none of that. And I didn't have to get sterilized. You know what to do when to do it as an adult, especially after you had one. And I'm gonna just let that sizzle in your spirit for a minute. Soul toucher, come on, before your head fall off.
All right. So the reason why a lot of men out there are hesitant or reluctant to get a vasectomy because in their brains they fail to pay attention in any type of health class or do any type of research. They feel like it's going to take away their manhood. They feel like it's going to stop their little dinglings from working or getting hard or whatever the case may be.
That would be working.
Um, all of that is false. It took one person to say to me, we can have a baby to make our relationship work. And I said, F that, I'm going to get a vasectomy. Um, I felt that way about vasectomies. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not letting nobody do that because my thing ain't going to work no more, blah, blah, blah. But it took that one time for one woman to say to me, we can have a baby and make our relationship work. And I was like, I don't want any more kids. Um, I was at the age to where it was like, I looked at the age that I was and I looked at, I don't want to be at this age with a child this young. So for me, it was a no brainer. I personally think that men should get a vasectomy as opposed to expecting a woman to get her tubes tied, get a hysterectomy or anything like the ovaries removed, unless it's a health thing that she needs to
Yeah,
have it removed. That's the only way I'm for a woman doing it. But I don't agree with, okay, well, there's methods out there to prevent you from having babies and this, that, and other. Ain't nothing on this planet perfect. Women are getting pregnant on the pill. People are having babies using condoms. People are being like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna use the what the pull out method,
Rhythm.
um,
The rhythm
the
method.
rhythm
Rhythm.
method. Um, you
The
know,
pull out.
people are using all of these methods out there, and oh, it was just that one time. Oh, well, when was the last time you had a cycle? Oh, you know what? I had my cycle like a week ago, but you don't know, women's bodies are so all over the place for so many damn reasons. My thing is this: when it comes to mama's baby, daddy's maybe, you don't want that mistake. You don't want that maybe. There's nothing wrong with getting a vasectomy. It's, I mean, you know, Senso Lex mentioned, cutting your body open, this, that, and the other. But let's be real about one thing when it comes to your body being cut open. How many of us done bust our head open, cut our finger open, cut our arm open, or whatever the case may be, had to go to the doctor and get stitches?
Those are
It's
called
really no different.
accidents.
But my point is,
Accidents.
my point
You're
is,
deliberately going to
but
let
my,
somebody chop on your tenders.
but here's the thing: it does not make you less than a man.
No, it doesn't.
Now, my whole point to this is, you have men out there who feel this way about vasectomies. And then you have men out there who get a woman pregnant or don't know they got a woman pregnant, or this woman is playing games saying, hey, you got me pregnant. And you be like, oh, no, I know you didn't. Hell, all of those methods out there you could have used. But to me, to be, as a man, to be 100% safe, to not get caught up in that mama's baby, daddy's maybe, get a vasectomy. It's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. If you're married and you intend, your intention is for y'all to be together forever, and y'all decide that y'all don't want any more kids, I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, if it's your religion or whatever the case may be, okay, cool, whatever floats your boat, whatever floats your boat, either way. But a lot of men are reluctant because they feel it makes them less than a man. It does not make you less than a man. I got my shit done in '04, and I ain't had no goddamn problems at all.
Ain't
Period.
nothing wrong with your yang.
Ain't nothing wrong with my yang.
I'll just say, of course, any man who feels that they want to do that.
Yeah, do
There's
it if you feel it.
definitely nothing wrong with it. I have plenty of friends who, have that mindset that they, just rather get it snipped and they ain't got to worry about it. Especially some of those who, play out on the outside of the lines, as they say. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is, again, for me, um, I don't know. I might consider it. in the future, I'd rather I did it than to have my wife go through it. Simply
Exactly.
because I
That's
It's
know
true.
easier.
that a woman's body tends to go through more things than a male body.
Hmm.
So
And
I'd rather, take that one for the team before I let her do it.
I love
But
And
that.
and
I love
and
that.
I want to throw one more thing out there when it comes to women. And I know a lot of people probably don't know this, but I'm thankful to have a lot of female friends who school me on stuff like this. It makes a woman feel less than a woman because, if I'm not mistaken, they don't produce as much estrogen without their parts in them. So
Correct.
that's why they feel less than a woman.
Correct.
It's not only a mental thing. It is literally a physical thing with the women.
Mhm.
But for us, that's a non-factor. It's a non-factor. So look, when it comes to mama's baby, daddy's maybe, look, you don't want the maybes out there. You want the for sure out there. And for men to not get caught up in this situation, make wise choices. Uh don't put yourself out there in a situation where you could have or possibly get someone pregnant when you're not ready.
Hmm.
And if you want to avoid those oops or mistakes or what ifs, take precautionary measures, whatever you deem right for you. For me, I say get a vasectomy and don't give two shits if somebody says, "Oh, you just got one so you could have sex all the time without a condom." No, 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 no. that is that is far from the truth.
I would
My
hope
whole thing is this:
that ain't what they thinking because boy, y'all got some
I've
microwave
heard it,
weenies out there, don't y'all?
I've heard it so many damn
Burning up some
times,
stuff.
and my thing is this: it ain't be so I can go smash whoever I want to without a condom and not get them pregnant. It's a whether I'm with one woman or two women. If she is not fixed, there's no chance of there being a hey, I'm pregnant. And at damn close to 50 years old, that's the last goddamn thing I want to hear. I think we pregnant. No, the hell we're not. So
He say, and if you are, there's a problem. We need to have a talk.
it, shit, I will take you to look. I will take you to Chesapeake Urology, who did my vasectomy, and I will tell you what year and the doctor who did it. And if you pregnant, then we're not gonna play immaculate conception either. You
Hell
gonna go
no.
find out
The
who the
body
hell
is a
laid them.
the body is a mystery.
Mm,
That's all. You
yeah.
could it could happen.
Well, I'm not gonna be a part of that mystery because I'm for sure my archaeological finding tool does not spit out lead.
Okay. That's what you say. You
I'm
mess
just
around and
saying.
have you a little one run around looking just like you. There's two here.
That shit, not at 50 years old.
Yep, at 50.
So let me ask this one last question though. Um, I'm under the impression at my age that if I were single, I would not want to engage in raising another child.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Simply because I feel like I have what I feel as an individual I need, which is one
Mm-hmm.
child. Um, but I find nothing wrong with any man who wants that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, with that being said, do you feel it's wrong for a man to raise another man's child? Meaning, he's basically being forced to by the court system because there are certain cases where men have been assigned the task of taking care of another man's child, even though he's not the biological father.
Hell no.
That's just crazy to me. But,
That's
there
ridiculous.
are cases where that has happened.
I'm gonna
But
say
there's suckers
this.
out there who, again, there are people out there who are ignorant to their rights,
Yep.
and it's mama's baby, and it's clearly not a maybe that that baby ain't yours, but jokers just they're irresponsible, reckless, and don't take control of their environment. If you know that baby ain't yours, you better go do what the hell you need to do to resolve that situation. Period.
It's clear to see I'm the pappy of that
The,
baby boss.
No, I'm that baby's daddy.
Me and my wife were having that discussion, right? And she felt like my thinking was wrong.
Mm,
Um, my thinking was, I have a child. All of my resources are going towards that child.
Hmm.
So to have another child, um, let's say we went our separate ways, I don't want to raise another man's child because I want all my resources going to my child.
Well,
it's not
you,
even about the
well, you
resources.
gonna have some
It's
slim
just
pickings
about the
out there, player.
respect. It's just
The way I'm looking at it is like this, right? Um, and again, for any man who wants to be a father to a child that's not his biological child, please don't think that I'm sending shots at you. I'm not doing that at all.
if it's by choice, it's all good.
Yeah, definitely. My thing is when it's not a choice. That's the problem I have. And it's not necessarily with the father, it's with the court system who are making these men take care of a child, from a relationship, whether they were married and then went their separate ways, but because you were there from day one, you're being
I've
forced
never
to
heard of
take care
that.
of this child. I don't think that's right.
I never
If you
heard of
want to
that one.
do it on your own. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't take
I,
away a man's resources because he was there from day one trying to do the right thing on his own.
I've never heard of that unless that man adopted that child or
Or
that
sign that
woman
birth
said,
certificate.
"This is your baby." Yes, either he adopted that child, he was a damn fool, or whatever to sign a birth certificate, or that chick said that's your baby, and he didn't get to go. He didn't go get a test done. Those are the only three situations I know where the court said, "Hey, you got to take care of that." Outside of
Hmm.
that, I don't give a damn if you just push that joke out 3 days later, and I've been there since then. I'm not paying for nothing,
Right. And the courts
even
cannot
if I
make
marry
you.
you.
Yeah,
Even
and
if
the
I
courts can't
marry
make
you,
you.
I'm
Like
not.
if I'm married and my son is 10 and I'm married to another man until my son is 25. When I well, let me go back. Let me go back. My son is 5 and we get a divorce when he's 12. I can't petition the court for child support from that man I was married to. He is
Mm-mm,
not
not
his
at all.
dad. I can't. The judge is gonna look at that and be like, "She has got to be on crack. Is it crack? It's got to be crack,
It
y'all."
must be. She's sipping some damn fog oil or
The
some
only
turpentine or
time
something.
that the courts can tell you to take care of somebody else's seed is when you have taken legal responsibility for that child.
Yep.
My
I,
my parents, when they got a divorce the first time, my dad had to pay child support for me because he had legally adopted me. I was legally his at that point,
yep. That's
legally.
it.
Um,
Yeah.
they got a divorce. My mom married someone else and had a kid, and then that didn't work. And her and my dad got back together. They got remarried, but she had a kid from that previous marriage, that in between marriage. When they got divorced again, my mother couldn't ask for child support for my baby brother, who was 2 whenever her and my father remarried, and he was 15 when they were getting ready to get a divorce. She couldn't ask for child support for him because that's not his biological. Although he raised him, that's not his biological. Um, it's just they can't do it that way. Had my dad adopted him like he adopted me, then he would have been paying child
Totally different
support.
story. Totally different story.
So yeah, no. If the courts are trying to pull that mess, then for
He
one, it's a
accepted
miscarriage
that
of
child
justice. It's a
legally.
miscarriage of justice. It's illegal. But if a man
Yeah.
is allowing somebody to say, "Oh yeah, we know it ain't yours, but and you didn't sign no paperwork or anything, but we gonna make you do it anyway," you better tell them to suck your jewels. That's what I would tell the
All of them.
judge.
Suck the
Yeah,
speedballs out my butt crack.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
and as far as me, as far as it's to each their own. If you don't
uh,
want to. the responsibility to take care of another man's child, just don't get involved with a woman with kids, or
Yeah.
that they have kids that are
Yeah.
grown and gone.
Yeah.
That's your best out.
Yeah.
because because
Um.
the fact of the matter is, if you with a woman and y'all move forward, live together, get married or whatever, and she has small children, you are automatically placed in a father figure role.
Mhm.
Automatically, you are going to you're not gonna want to be that in that position, and that's fine. But can you imagine that 9-year-old little boy bouncing in there saying, "Oh my God, yo son, I got a game and I can't wait. I want you to come and watch me and support me." Automatically in a father role, because that's what they do.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna be staying up in the
Yep.
house with that woman and not helping with the bills and stuff. Christmas roll around, you gonna help that woman. Whether it's you gonna pay a
Mhm.
little bit more heavy on the rent bill so you can free up some dollars for her to get the kids stuff for Christmas, or you gonna pitch in. I mean, at the end of the day, we human. And as much as we might not want to do for another person's kid, I'm gonna tell you right now, all my life I have avoided dating men with children for two reasons. I don't got time for no baby mama drama. Orange is not in my color wheel. I don't like prison orange, for one. For two, I didn't want to be nobody. I didn't want to be in a position to where I I had to be this stepmom or the. I didn't want to do any of that. Didn't want to do that. I just didn't. I didn't want to put into somebody else's kid, so I didn't date men with kids at all. I'm straight. You got some babies? Nah, I don't want to fool with you. I got older into the age I am now, and I was like, okay, cool, I can do this. But from all through my 20s and up, I literally hit 40, literally hit 40 and was like, well, maybe it ain't so bad. Let me try it out. Let me test the waters on it. But until I hit 40, I ain't messing with nobody else kids. Oh, I like
Mm.
you. We hitting it off real good. You got kids? Yeah, man. I got. Oh, okay. Well, it was cool chopping it up with you.
Sorry.
Pew.
Gotta go. See you when I see you.
Pew. Oh man, man, Phoenix. I thought we was doing good. I thought Hey man,
Mm.
you got kids and I don't got time. And I remember laying in my bed one night and laughing because I was like, you got some audacity because you got a kid. You want somebody to deal
Mm.
with you and your brat,
Right.
but you ain't dealing with nobody
Yeah.
else and they brat. But it was my prerogative, and I used
Yeah.
to be like, it is what it is. If you don't want to
Yeah.
deal
Pretty
with
much.
mine, then don't deal with me, because we
Right.
definitely a
And
package deal.
and that's the bottom line with that. If you don't want to deal with it, then don't deal with it. But a problem with dudes is they put themselves in that mama's baby, daddy's maybe situation because it's like, oh, you see this nice looking chick and you just gotta have it. Gotta have it. Don't matter if she got kids or whatever the case may be. You letting these kids call you daddy and this, that, and the other. They got a daddy 3 blocks away and you trying to play this role. And it's like now you have stuck yourself in a situation that you really don't want to be in. So it don't matter what the court say or what this, that, and the other. It's like you have to think about what affects those kids.
Hmm.
And those are her babies. They're not yours. It ain't no if, ands, or maybes about it. If you don't want to deal with it, don't deal with it. It doesn't matter if you just want that ass. Do not deal with it because that's a package deal and you need to accept that package. When
Yep.
FedEx drop that package at your door, you signing for it. If you
Hmm.
don't want it, stay away from it. Just stay away.
I'll say two things in closing.
Okay.
One is, um, if you don't want to be a stepdaddy, then don't be. Don't
Yep.
make anyone or let anyone make you feel bad for not wanting to be a stepdaddy. If you don't want any kids, that's fine. There are plenty of people in the world who don't have kids. That don't make you less of a human being because you don't want kids.
That's right.
It's just your choice. So on the flip side of that, for any man who wants to be a father or a stepdaddy, I salute you, because there are so many kids out here in this world who need a stepfather or a father who could use a good man in their life. So just because you didn't, impregnate that female to produce that child, you stepped up and you became a role model to that child. That child can call you father, and you can call that child your child. Just because you don't have the same blood, that still don't mean you ain't kin. So again,
Right.
if that's your choice, then do that. Do it to the best of your abilities.
Be great gardeners.
Mm. At the end of
And
the
I will
day,
end on that note.
it's always mama's baby. It's daddy's maybe if you don't know or if you choose to exit. But don't lay down with that woman if you don't want the responsibilities. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining us, King and I Life podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Again, follow us on all of those platforms that are out there. Um, Hit us up, king and I 369 at gmail.com.